Mank is a Netflix movie that comes out in a week, and I spent $54 to go watch early, or watch it all because I don't have Netflix yet. I was just happy again to go watch a movie on the big screen, and it was pretty good for a black and white period piece, where the only other video review said,
If you have ever sat at home and wondered about who deserves proper credit for the screenplay of Citizen Kane, whether it be Orson Welles or Herman Mankiewicz, this is the movie for you. Want to see how labor union disputes could affect people at the studio level, and how politics played a role in the types of stories that the major Hollywood studios at the time.
I was pleasantly surprised. This movie is about a bunch of different conversations that happened over various different time periods in the 1930s, which led screenwriter Herman Mankiewicz to write the first draft for Citizen Kane. And because conversations are what carries the movie from start to end, it was nice to see that none of them were dragged across concrete. This is in part to the clever screenwriting by the late Jack Fincher, the incredible acting by Gary Oldman, who between this and Darkest Hour loves to play old men with beer bellies, and the stylistic period piece directing from David Fincher. The acting I thought was very good. The whole cast did a fine job. In particular, the blonde chick as played by Amanda Seyfried, or it could be grey hair. It's kind of hard to tell in black and white. And of course Gary Oldman, who did an excellent job portraying this smartest man in the room type. Acting is kind of important when the only thing pushing the movie forward is dialogue. David Fincher does an excellent job making this movie feel authentic to the 1930s and 1940s, and the composers did a really good job going along with this by using only instruments that were around at the time. In a way, it's a bit like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in the element of that it's an exploration of the Hollywood industry in any given point in time, and I liked it there, and I still like it here. The biggest flaw in the movie is that it lacks any character to emotionally hook onto. Even though Mank is given the time and depth to be an interesting character and keep the audience invested in the story, he's kind of also a douche, and he doesn't offer any emotional connection as such. So when something bad happens to one of his buddies, I didn't really feel for him. That, and of course the other biggest flaw, which is that while the movie isn't boring, there is a lack of, blockbuster drive to the film. And the two things that save it from being boring is that the movie ends just at the right time. If it were dragged out as long as The Irishman, it would be a mess. And also that it keeps on cutting between these different time periods. The way the story is told and the timeline that it's told is what keeps it fresh, And one cool gimmick in the movie is that every time it set up a new time period, it would give the scene exposition details, the int, 1930, MGM Studios, day thing. So overall, I really like this movie, and I think most people will when it goes to Netflix. I was pleasantly surprised that the movie managed to stay not boring. Thanks for watching. Yeezy video coming soon. I'll see you then. Toodaloo.